Okay, don't look at me like that. Yes, I know I'm holding the coffee upside down.
David, the mug is literally empty. There was never any coffee in it.
Exactly. That's the tragedy. I woke up, grabbed the mug, walked to the kitchen, and stood there for a full 10 seconds just staring at the coffee machine like it owed me money.
Like it owed you money. Okay, that's a strong start for an episode.
Welcome to EnglishFB, everybody. I'm David.
And I'm Sara. And today, we're not starting with some perfect, shiny, good morning sunshine moment. We're starting with David holding an empty mug and blaming the coffee machine.
Because that's real life. That's an actual morning, not the version where you wake up glowing and stretched like a cat in a commercial.
Right. Nobody's morning looks like that. Most mornings look like you open one eye, you close it again, you promise yourself 5 more minutes, and somehow those 5 minutes turn into 25.
Guilty. Very guilty.
So today, we're talking about morning routines. Real ones, messy ones, the kind that actually fit into an actual human life.
Yeah, and along the way, we're going to slide in some really useful words and phrases. The kind you can just drop into a conversation without even thinking about it.
Naturally, like they've always been part of your vocabulary.
Exactly. So stick with us, get comfortable, maybe go make yourself an actual cup of coffee, unlike me, and let's get into it.
So David, be honest. What time did you actually wake up today?
Honestly, later than I wanted. My alarm went off, and I did that thing where you hit snooze without even really waking up, like your hand just knows the button.
Muscle memory.
Total muscle memory. My brain wasn't even involved in that decision.
I do the same thing, but with my phone. I check the time, I see it, and somehow my brain just refuses to process it. Like, nope, not today.
It's like your brain puts up a little sign that says closed.
Exactly. And when I finally do get up, I'm what you'd call groggy, completely groggy.
Oh, that's a good word, groggy. For anyone listening who hasn't heard it, groggy basically means you're half asleep, your head feels heavy, your thoughts are slow, and you're not really functioning like a normal human yet.
It's that in-between state. You're not asleep, but you're definitely not awake either. Your eyes are open, but your brain hasn't turned the lights on inside. That's such a good way to put it. The lights aren't on yet. You can say something like, I always feel groggy for the first 10 minutes after I wake up, or don't talk to me before coffee, I'm way too groggy.
Way too groggy. Yeah, that's basically my daily state until the caffeine kicks in.
Mine too, to be fair. So that's word number 1 for today, groggy.
And it's not a small thing either. Being groggy actually affects how you talk, how you think, even how patient you are with people.
Oh, absolutely. If someone talks to me while I'm groggy, I might just stare at them blankly for a few seconds before my brain catches up.
The classic groggy stare. We've all given someone that look at least once.
Poor delivery guy last week got the full groggy stare from me. He just wanted a signature, and I looked at him like he'd asked me to solve a math problem.
In your defense, at 7 in the morning, a signature can feel like a math problem.
Exactly. My hand didn't even know how to hold the pen properly yet.
Okay, so here's a question for you, Sara. Why do you think mornings matter so much? Like, why not talk about evenings or lunch breaks?
Good question. I think it's because the morning is kind of untouched. Nothing has happened to you yet that day. No stressful email, no annoying traffic, nothing.
It's a blank page.
Exactly, a blank page. And whatever you write on that page first, it kind of sets the mood for everything after.
That actually reminds me of something my grandfather used to say. He was a baker, so he woke up ridiculously early, like 4 in the morning every single day for like 40 years.
4 in the morning? That's brutal.
It sounds brutal, but he always said this old proverb to me, the early bird catches the worm.
Oh, I love that one.
He'd say it every time I complained about getting up early for school, and I used to think it was just something old people say to annoy kids.
Which, to be fair, it kind of is.
Right? But now I actually get it. He meant that the people who start early, who show up before everyone else, they're the ones who get the good stuff, the fresh bread, the quiet streets, the best opportunities before the rest of the world even wakes up.
So the early bird catches the worm basically means the person who acts first or gets up first often gets the best result.
Exactly. And you don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. like my grandfather did. It's more about the idea, Start before the rush. Don't wait until everything's already chaotic.
You could say, I try to answer my emails early before the inbox gets crazy because the early bird catches the worm.
Or even something small like, I get to the gym at 6 a.m. because the early bird catches the worm, and by 7, it's completely packed.
That's such a nice memory, by the way. Your grandfather, the bakery, all of that.
Yeah, I think about him every time I smell fresh bread, genuinely.
Okay, so we've got groggy, and we've got our first proverb. The early bird catches the worm. Now let's talk about what actually happens once you're out of bed.
Right, because getting out of bed is only step 1. Step 2 is figuring out what to actually do with those first few minutes.
For me, it's genuinely chaos for the first 5 minutes. I'm looking for socks that match, I'm trying to remember if I fed the cat, and somehow I'm also making tea at the same time.
That sounds like multitasking at its finest.
It's not elegant, but it works, eventually.
I've actually started doing something different lately. Instead of checking my phone the second I wake up, I try to just hit the ground running with something useful first.
Ooh, hit the ground running. That's a good one. Let's break that down for a second.
Yeah, so hit the ground running means you start something immediately with full energy without wasting time getting ready or warming up slowly.
It's like when you land somewhere and instead of standing there confused, you just start moving right away, full speed.
That's actually where it comes from, more or less. Imagine jumping out of a moving vehicle or landing after a jump. If you hit the ground running, you don't fall over, you don't stumble, you just keep going.
So in real life, you could say, on my first day at the new job, I had to hit the ground running because there was already a meeting waiting for me.
Or, I like to hit the ground running in the morning, so I do 10 minutes of English before I even check my messages.
That's actually really smart. You're protecting that clean, fresh part of your brain for something useful before the noise starts.
Exactly. Because once you open your phone, forget it. 15 minutes disappear and you don't even know where they went.
The classic just checking one message trap.
The most dangerous trap in the modern world.
I actually tried leaving my phone in another room entirely, just to remove the temptation.
Did it work?
Surprisingly well. I got up, made tea, sat down, and had already listened to 10 minutes of a podcast before I even remembered the phone existed.
See? That's the whole trick, isn't it? It's not really about willpower. It's about just putting a small obstacle between you and the distraction.
Right. Out of sight, out of mind. Well, mostly out of mind. I did think about it once or twice.
Baby steps, Sarah. Baby steps.
Actually, that phrase reminds me of my very first job interview. My alarm didn't go off, total disaster, and I woke up with about 12 minutes to get dressed, grab my resume, and cross town.
12 minutes? What did you even do?
No time to panic, honestly. Just moved. Threw on clothes, grabbed my bag, ran for the bus. I hit the ground running, literally and figuratively.
Did you make it?
Barely. Walked in 2 minutes early, completely out of breath, but somehow answered every question like a calm, normal human being.
That's such a perfect real example of the phrase. Sometimes you don't choose to hit the ground running. Life just shoves you into it.
True, but I like to think I chose the version of myself that showed up anyway, breathless or not.
Okay, before we go further, let me pause for a second and say a proper hello, because we get new listeners every week, and I never want anyone to feel like they walked into the middle of a conversation.
Fair enough. So if this is your first time here, welcome, genuinely.
This is EnglishFB, a podcast for learners who already understand a good amount, but want their English to sound more natural, more relaxed, less textbook.
We're not doing grammar charts here. If you wanted that, you'd be in a classroom, and this very clearly isn't one.
We just talk, like two friends catching up, and the vocabulary and idioms slide in naturally along the way, the stuff people actually say.
So by the end of an episode, you've picked up a few new words without ever feeling like you were studying.
However you found us, first episode or 50th, thank you for being here. It means a lot.
And if you enjoy this, stick around, because there's a lot more coming, including, apparently, a lot more of my questionable coffee mug decisions.
That mug situation is not going away anytime soon. Okay, back to mornings. So we talked about hitting the ground running, but let's be real. Not everyone wants to jump straight into productivity mode. Some people need a slower start.
Totally. I think there's this myth that a good morning routine has to be super intense, like cold showers, running 5 kilometers, reading a book, meditating for an hour.
And if you don't do all of that, you feel like you failed before the day even started.
which is ridiculous to be fair. For some people, a genuinely good morning is just sitting quietly with their tea for 10 minutes and not talking to anyone.
That's actually invigorating for me, weirdly enough. Just silence.
Invigorating. Okay, let's grab that one too. Invigorating basically means something that makes you feel more awake, more alive, full of fresh energy.
It's a strong word. It's not just nice, it's like a little jolt of energy.
Exactly. Cold water on your face can feel invigorating. A short walk outside in fresh morning air can feel invigorating. Even a really good deep breath can feel invigorating.
You could say, I find a short walk before work really invigorating. It wakes me up more than coffee does.
Or, that cold shower was invigorating, but also, why did I do that to myself?
Honestly, fair.
I actually tried the cold shower thing for like a week.
And?
Invigorating, yes. Enjoyable, absolutely not. I screamed internally every single time.
That's the most honest review of cold showers I've ever heard.
I stand by it.
Okay, so on the opposite side of invigorating, let's talk about something we're all guilty of: procrastination.
Oh no, don't call me out like this.
I'm not pointing fingers, I do it too. So the word here is procrastinate. It means you delay doing something, usually something important, and instead you do something easier or less useful, or in fact, nothing at all.
It's basically the art of finding literally anything else to do instead of the thing you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Like you have to write an email, but suddenly you're reorganizing your desk. Or you have to study, but suddenly your whole apartment needs cleaning.
My personal favorite is when I decide I need to research something completely random. Like I once spent 40 minutes learning about penguins instead of doing actual work.
Penguins?
Fully committed. I learned so much about penguins that day. Everything except what I was supposed to be doing.
That's a masterclass in procrastination, to be fair.
You could say, I always procrastinate before big deadlines, or stop procrastinating and just send the email already.
And in the morning specifically, procrastination often shows up as, I'll get up in 5 more minutes, and then somehow 45 minutes disappear.
That's the sneaky part. It never feels like you're wasting a lot of time in the moment. It's always just 5 more minutes, 5 times in a row.
Which brings us right back to why a little bit of structure in the morning actually helps. Not a rigid schedule, just a small anchor.
Speaking of listeners, actually, this reminds me of a message we got a while back. A guy named Reza wrote in about his mornings.
Oh, I remember this one.
So Reza works night shifts sometimes, and other days he works mornings. So his whole sleep schedule is genuinely a mess. Some days he wakes up at 6, other days at noon.
That's genuinely hard. There's no fixed routine possible there.
Right. And he said for a long time he felt like there's no point trying to have a morning routine. My mornings are never the same.
Which makes sense on the surface.
But then he told us what he actually did. He said whatever time he wakes up, the very first thing he does before checking his phone is drink 1 full glass of water and listen to 5 minutes of English.
Just 5 minutes?
Just 5 minutes. He said it doesn't matter if it's 6 a.m. or noon, that 5 minutes always happens first. No exceptions.
That's such a smart solution. He didn't try to force a fixed schedule onto a life that doesn't have one. He just picked one small, repeatable action.
Exactly. And he said after a couple of months, he noticed his listening comprehension improved a lot just from those 5 consistent minutes, no matter how chaotic the rest of his schedule was.
I love that story because it shows the routine doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It just needs to be yours, and it needs to actually happen.
Reza, if you're listening, that's a genuinely great habit. Seriously.
Small, repeatable, flexible. That's basically the whole secret.
And I think what I love most about his story is that he didn't wait for the perfect schedule to appear. He built the habit around the mess instead of waiting for the mess to disappear.
That's such an important distinction. So many people say, once my schedule calms down, I'll start. And the schedule never really calms down.
Right. There's always going to be a busy season, a stressful month, a chaotic week. Life doesn't politely wait until you're ready.
So instead of waiting for calm, Reza just built something small enough to survive the chaos.
Exactly. A 5-minute habit is basically chaos-proof. You can fit it into almost anything.
Chaos-proof. I like that. We should put that on a mug.
Right next to my very famous empty one.
Okay, so here's a question. Are you someone who likes doing the exact same morning routine every day, or do you like mixing it up?
Oh, 100% the same thing every day. I am, and I say this proudly, a total creature of habit.
A creature of habit? Explain that one for us.
So a creature of habit is someone who really likes routine, who does the same things in the same order, and, to be fair, feels a little uncomfortable when that pattern gets broken.
It's like an animal that always walks the same path in the forest.
Kind of, yeah. That's actually a nice way to picture it. The habit becomes like a worn path, comfortable, familiar, and you just naturally walk it without thinking.
So for you specifically, what does that look like?
Same order every single day. Water first, then I open the curtains, then I make tea, then I sit for 10 minutes before I even look at my phone. If someone messes with that order, I genuinely feel a bit thrown off.
That's so specific. I love it though.
You can say, my dad is such a creature of habit, he's ordered the same breakfast at that cafe for 15 years.
Or I used to hate routine, but actually, I've become a bit of a creature of habit myself lately.
Are you one, David?
Honestly, less than you. I like having a rough shape to my morning, but I don't panic if the order changes. I'm more flexible, I think.
A flexible creature of habit. Contradiction, but okay, I'll allow it.
I contain multitudes, Sarah.
Has your routine ever backfired on you, though?
Actually, yes, once. I was traveling for a work trip, totally different city, different time zone, and I still tried to run my exact usual routine. Same order, same everything.
How did that go?
Badly. I was still on step 3 of my ritual when the hotel breakfast closed, and by the time I got downstairs, everything was already cleared away.
So even a creature of habit has to adapt sometimes.
Exactly. The habit's great, right up until it stops matching your actual life. Then you just adjust the order a little and move on.
Okay, but let's talk about the other side too, because not every morning has to follow a strict pattern.
Right. Sometimes the best mornings are the ones that just happen naturally, without a plan.
Like, some of my favorite mornings were completely spontaneous, no routine at all.
Spontaneous, nice. Let's grab that word too. Spontaneous basically means something you do suddenly, without planning it in advance, just because you felt like it in that moment.
It's the opposite of a fixed routine, really. It's unplanned, natural, in the moment.
Give us an example.
Okay, so a few months ago, I woke up early on a Saturday, completely unplanned, no alarm, nothing, and instead of my usual routine, I just decided, spontaneously, to go for a walk and get breakfast from a little bakery near my place.
No plan, just vibes.
Exactly, just vibes. And it ended up being one of the best mornings I'd had in weeks, precisely because there was zero structure to it.
You can say, we made a spontaneous decision to drive to the coast instead of going to work. Or, she's a really spontaneous person. She'll just decide to travel somewhere with no plan at all.
Or even something small, like I spontaneously bought flowers for myself this morning just because.
Actually, that's a lovely little spontaneous habit to have.
Right? Sometimes the best part of a morning routine is knowing when to throw the routine away completely and just let the morning happen.
So we've got structure on one side and spontaneity on the other. And personally, I think the healthiest mornings probably have a bit of both.
A stable little anchor, but also room to breathe and be a bit spontaneous when life allows it.
I think that's actually really freeing to hear, to be fair, because a lot of people think if they break their routine even once, they've somehow failed.
Oh, that's such a common trap. One missed morning and suddenly it's, well, I guess I'm just bad at routines, and they give up entirely.
But one spontaneous, messy, unplanned morning doesn't erase all the mornings you did show up. It's just one day.
Exactly. And in fact, sometimes that one spontaneous day is exactly what recharges you enough to go back to the routine the next morning anyway.
So don't be too hard on yourself if your morning doesn't go according to plan. Structure and spontaneity, they're not enemies, they're teammates.
Okay, one more word before we move on, because I think this one's really important, especially for people who have really busy, stressful lives.
Go for it.
Unwind. To unwind means to relax, to slowly release stress and tension. Kind of like your body and mind are loosening up after being tight and stressed.
It's such a visual word, too, like a rope or a spring that's been wound really tight, and it slowly, slowly loosens.
Exactly. That's actually where it comes from.
Something wound up tight, and then it unwinds, it loosens, it relaxes.
And I think people usually think of unwinding as an evening thing, right? Like, I need to unwind after work.
Totally. But mornings can be for unwinding too, especially if your evenings are chaotic and full of family stuff or whatever.
That's actually such a good point.
You could say, I like to unwind in the morning with a cup of tea before the house wakes up. Or, after a stressful week, I really needed a weekend to just unwind.
Mornings as a chance to unwind before the day even starts putting pressure on you. I really like that reframe.
It doesn't have to be dramatic either. Sometimes unwinding is just 5 quiet minutes. No phone, no noise, just you and your thoughts. Or your coffee. Or in my case, my very empty mug.
We are never letting that mug thing go, are we?
Absolutely not. It's become a whole character in this episode at this point.
Honestly, we should give it a name at this point.
The mug deserves a name after everything it's been through today.
We'll workshop that. Anyway, unwinding, whether it's morning or evening, is genuinely underrated. People treat rest like it's something you have to earn.
Right. Like you're only allowed to relax once every single task is finished, which, let's be honest, never actually happens.
The to-do list never really ends, does it? There's always one more thing.
So maybe the answer isn't finishing everything first. Maybe it's just deciding this 10 minutes is protected, no matter what's still on the list.
I like that. Protected time. Not earned time. Protected time.
Okay, so between the vocabulary, the idioms, and the proverb, we've covered quite a bit today.
That's a solid haul for one episode.
And here's the thing. None of this requires memorizing a list. You just heard it all used naturally inside real stories and real moments.
Which is exactly the point. Your brain doesn't need a flashcard. It needs a feeling, a context, a little memory attached to the word.
So here's a little challenge. One we do every episode, so if you've heard us say it before, humor us.
Yes, please humor us.
While you were listening, one of today's words probably stuck out to you a bit more than the others.
Whatever it was, when this episode ends, take 10 seconds and make one sentence with it. Out loud, in your head, written down, doesn't matter.
It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours.
And if you're feeling brave, drop that sentence in the comments. We actually read them. And other learners do too. And sometimes someone's sentence helps somebody else understand a word way better than we ever could.
That's actually one of my favorite parts of doing this, seeing how people use these words in their own lives, their own mornings, their own little stories.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. Why does any of this actually matter? Like, why spend 30 minutes talking about mornings and vocabulary?
Honestly, because mornings kind of set the tone for everything else. If you start the day feeling rushed and groggy and stressed, that feeling tends to follow you around.
It's like the mood just sticks to you all day.
But if you can find even 10 minutes, whether that's structured like a creature of habit or completely spontaneous, that quiet little moment can change how the rest of your day feels.
And the same logic applies to English, to be fair. You don't need 3 hours a day. You need something small, something realistic, something you'll actually keep doing.
Little and often beats big and occasional every single time.
That's basically the whole EnglishFB philosophy in one sentence, actually.
It really is. 5 minutes of listening on your way to work, 3 sentences written in your notes app, 1 new word you actually use in a real sentence. That's it. That's the whole thing.
No pressure to be perfect, no pressure to sound like a native speaker overnight. Just small, steady, repeated effort.
And honestly, if today all you take away is the word groggy or the idea of hitting the ground running, that's already a win, genuinely.
A very real, very legitimate win.
I think sometimes people imagine language learning as this huge mountain you have to climb all at once, and it feels so overwhelming that they just don't start.
But it's really not one giant climb. It's more like 1,000 tiny steps. And most of them happen in these small, ordinary moments, like a 15-minute podcast during breakfast.
You're not failing if progress feels slow. Slow is still moving. Slow is still forward.
And honestly, some of the biggest changes in how naturally I speak now came from exactly this kind of small, repeated exposure, not from sitting down with a textbook for hours.
Same here. It really is little by little, episode by episode, morning by morning.
Okay, David, before we wrap up, quick recap for anyone who wants it. What were our 2 idioms today?
Hit the ground running, meaning you start something immediately with full energy, no slow warm-up.
And creature of habit, meaning someone who really likes doing the same routine, the same way over and over.
And our proverb was the early bird catches the worm, thanks to my grandfather and his bakery.
The classic. And our 5 words, let's see if I remember them all. Groggy, half asleep and slow. Invigorating, something that gives you fresh energy. Procrastinate, delaying something you should be doing. Unwind, to relax and release tension. And spontaneous, doing something suddenly without a plan.
Look at you, remembering all 5 without even checking your notes.
I surprise myself sometimes.
Honestly, same. So if any of this felt useful today, or if David's empty coffee mug brought you even a little bit of joy this morning, do us a favor.
Like this episode, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you know someone else who's learning English and could use a little morning company, send this their way.
It genuinely helps us keep making these, and it helps more people turn their random, chaotic, groggy mornings into something a little more useful.
We really do read the comments, by the way. Every single one.
Every single one, even the ones that just say hi from Tehran or wherever you're listening from. We love seeing where you all are.
Okay, so tomorrow morning, whenever your alarm goes off, whatever time that is, 6 a.m., noon, whenever your life allows it, maybe you'll think about today's episode.
Maybe you'll hit the ground running with 5 minutes of English before you even touch your phone.
Or maybe you'll just enjoy being a creature of habit and stick to whatever already works for you.
Or maybe, in fact, you'll do something completely spontaneous instead. And that's fine too. There's no one right way to do this.
There really isn't. Just showing up, even a little, even groggy, even with an empty coffee mug in your hand.
I will never live that mug down, will I?
Never. It's canon now.
Fair enough. Well, on that note, thank you so much for spending part of your morning or your commute or your very tired afternoon with us.
This was EnglishFB. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Go make yourself an actual cup of coffee, unlike me.
Take care, keep showing up little by little, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.